Good morning. So in today's lecture, let us discuss about lens, mirror, focal length, ray diagrams, etc. Okay, which are useful for all competitive exams related to the physics. So first in this part, let us discuss about lens. Lens, it is made of a piece of transparent material. Okay, so now eyes are natural lenses. Lenses are classified into two types, convex lens and concave lens. Now first let us discuss about convex lens. This is the symbol of convex lens. Now here I drawed a convex lens. Edges are thin, middle part will be thick, and it will have an optical center. So now we call this convex lens as converging lens. Why? Means it converges all the light rays at a single point called as principal focus. Alright. Now here I took a convex lens. These are the rays coming parallel to the principal axis. This convex lens will converge all these points at one single point called as principal focus. So the types of convex lens: double convex lens, plano convex lens, means one side it will be plane, other side it will be convex surface. Concavo convex lens, one side it will be of concave surface, other side will be of convex surface. Okay, so now the uses of this convex lens is, we use this in an optical instrument. It magnifies the image and shows the magnified image of an object. It is used in telescopes, microscopes. Now as eye lens, in camera lens and in magnifying glasses we use convex lens. Right. Now let us discuss about one of the example of this usage of convex lens. So let us discuss about the eye defect, hypermetropia or farsightedness. So the persons who are having this eye defect, they can see the objects which are far, but they cannot see nearby objects clearly. These persons who are having hypermetropia can see far objects clearly, but they cannot see nearby objects. Why? Means here the light rays coming from the light source are focused behind the retina. If this is the eye and this is the retina, so here the image is formed behind the retina. Alright. So only they can see the far objects, but they cannot see nearby objects clearly. So now this image must be focused on the retina. To focus the image on the retina, we use convex lens. Now this convex lens makes these rays to focus on the retina, and in such a way this convex lens removes hypermetropia. Now the person can see nearby objects also. Now we are also having convex mirrors. So convex mirrors are, we call it as diverging mirrors. Convex mirrors diverges the light. Now next let us go for concave lens. So this is the symbolic representation of concave lens. So in concave lens, edges are thick and middle is thin. As usual we will have optical center. Now we call this as diverging lens. Now it diverges all the light from the point on the principal axis. Now the types of concave lens are double concave lens, plano concave lens, convexo concave lens. Right. Now next let us see a ray diagram, how it is diverging the light. So now here we drawn a ray diagram. This is the principal axis, concave lens we took. These are the rays coming parallel to the principal axis. Now this concave lens is diverging the light in such a way. And the uses of these concave lenses, we use them in binoculars, we use them in telescopes, eyeglasses, flashlights, that is torches, etc. Now here also let us discuss about one of the example of a concave lens. Here also let us discuss about eye defect, myopia or nearsightedness. So the persons who are having this kind of eye defect can see nearby objects clearly. They can see nearby objects clearly, but they cannot see far objects. Why means here image is formed. Image is formed in front of retina. So now in order to remove this defect, this image must form on the retina. So for that only we are using concave lens. So this concave lens, it diverges all the light rays towards the retina and makes the rays to form the image, or diverges the light rays to form the image on a retina. So now in such a way concave lens diverges the image to the retina and that person will be free from myopia disease. Right? Now next, here we are talking about the image. Now then what is this image? We stand in front of the mirror. Okay, so if this is the mirror, what is the definition of mirror? It is nothing but a plain glass plate which is polished on one side. Mirror is nothing but a plain glass plate which is polished on one side. Now if a person stands in front of the mirror, he sees his image in this mirror. How it is happening? So first, the rays from the light falls on the person. Right? Now these rays are reflected towards the mirror, and again the mirror reflects the light towards the person, and in that reflected light only the person sees its image in the mirror. So now here image means, here if we see in this example, here image means either that particular point where rays are converging, or that particular point from which the rays are diverging. So image can be defined as that particular point at which the rays will converge. Now these are the converging rays, or the rays appears to diverge. So these are the rays appear to diverge from that point. Okay. So now depending upon that, image is classified into two types. One we call it as a real image, other is virtual image. So real image means here actual intersection of rays takes place. Here I took a concave mirror. Right? So let us once define about concave mirror. So concave mirror we call it as converging mirror. It converges the light rays. Okay. So it converts the light rays. Now this is the concave mirror. Right. Now this is the principal axis. This is the candle or the source of light. Now rays coming from this source of light are incident on concave mirror, and these are reflected, and we are getting, see, this is the inverted image, a real inverted image we will get. Now here actual intersection of the rays takes place. actual intersection of the rays takes place. Such images we call it as real image. Real image will be inverted, okay, and actual intersection of rays takes place. Now next let us take a concave lens. Now this is the object. Now this is the object. The rays are incident on the concave lens, they diverge. But we see that these rays appear from particular point. We see them as if they appear to come from this particular point, right? So whenever there is an imaginary intersection, of light rays, or we can also say that when light rays appears to diverge from a point, or an imaginary intersection takes place, and if that image is upright, here inverted we got, here upright, then we call that virtual image is formed. Virtual image means here rays appear to diverge, or an imaginary intersection takes place at particular point, and here image formed will be upright. So that we call it as a virtual image. Now let us go for some definitions related to this. Okay. Now here already now I defined about concave mirror and convex mirror, right? So concave mirror means what I said, it is converging mirror, and convex diverging mirror, right? So now here let us see what is happening. Okay, so first let us define what is pole. Now here I took one concave mirror. This is the reflecting surface, non-reflecting surface. Now the center of this reflecting surface we call it as pole. The center of reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is called as pole. It is represented by letter P. Now in case of convex mirror also I just identified the pole. Now this is the reflecting surface and this is the non-reflecting surface, and the center of reflecting surface of spherical mirror we call it as pole, right? Now next let us go for the definition of center of curvature. Now here I am completing the circle. Okay, so now here if I complete the circle, now first I drawed in case of concave mirror. Now as usual we know the center of reflecting surface is pole, right? Now this particular sphere or a spherical surface has a center. Now this is the reflecting surface, non-reflecting surface, pole, and it has a center. Either in case of concave mirror or convex mirror, it will have a center. So that center of a sphere we call it as a center of curvature. Okay, the center of sphere of which the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is the part is known as a center of curvature. It is represented by letter C. Actually center of curvature is not the part of the mirror, right? So it lies outside the reflecting surface. It lies outside the reflecting surface. Now see how means, if we take the case of concave mirror, it lies in front of mirror. Now this is the mirror and here it lies in front of mirror. This is the mirror and it is lying in front of mirror, And if we take this case of convex mirror, it lies behind the mirror. Here is the mirror. Okay, here is the reflecting surface. This is the reflecting surface. So it lies here behind the mirror. Okay, in case of concave mirror, center of curvature lies in front of mirror, and in case of convex mirror, center of curvature lies behind the mirror. Right? Now next, let us define what is radius of curvature. So now here, in case of concave mirror or convex mirror, the radius of this sphere, that is CP. So here C is the center of curvature, P is the pole. Okay, the radius of a sphere, either in concave or convex, the radius of a sphere, we call it as radius of curvature. Okay, and it is represented by letter capital R. Now this is the radius of curvature in case of a concave mirror, and this is the radius of curvature in case of convex mirror. Right? Now next, let us define what is principal axis. So now here, principal axis means a straight line passing through pole and center of a spherical mirror. Now this is a straight line passing through the pole and center of a spherical mirror, that we call it as principal axis. Now this is the principal axis. See the arrow direction for concave mirror, and this is the principal axis for convex mirror. Why means, now this is the reflecting surface and for concave mirror, and this is the reflecting surface for convex mirror. So in such a way, this is the principal axis, means nothing but a straight line passing through the pole and center of the sphere. So principal axis is perpendicular to the mirror. Now this is the mirror, now the shaded part. Here also the shaded part is the mirror, and this is perpendicular to the mirror, either in case of concave or convex mirrors. It is perpendicular to the mirror. Right? Now next, let us define about principal focus. Okay, let us define principal focus. So now here I drawn the principal focus for concave mirror and convex mirror. Now this is the concave mirror, this is the reflecting surface, and this side non-reflecting surface. Now this is the principal axis. Principal axis. Now these are the rays passing parallel to the principal axis. When they incident on the mirror, they reflect back in such a way. Okay. Now these reflected rays meet at one particular point. That point we call it as principal focus. Okay. So now here in convex mirror, if we see, now this is the reflecting surface and this is the non-reflecting surface, and this is the principal axis. Now see here, these are the rays coming parallel to the principal axis. They reflect back when they incident on convex mirror. But when we see that they focus at one particular point and appears to reflect from this point. They appears to reflect from this point. This point also we call it as principal focus for the convex lens. Okay. So now here, in case of concave mirror, actual interaction of rays are taking place. Here imaginary interaction or appears to interact in case of convex lens. Right? So now here, the point of intersection either here or here, we call it as principal focus. It is denoted by capital letter F. Right? So we can also define principal focus is nothing but a line segment joining pole and center of curvature of mirror. So it is joining pole and center of curvature. So it joins pole and center of curvature of a mirror. Now next step, in case of concave mirror, when rays are incident, already now only I said, when rays are incident parallel to the principal axis, actual intersection takes place. But in case of convex mirror, they appear to intersect, or imaginary intersection takes place at the principal focus. Alright. Now next, let us define what is focal length. Now this is the center of curvature, this is the pole. Now these are the rays coming parallel to the principal axis. For the concave mirror I am explaining. Now they reflect back and intersect at a principal focus. Right. And now here also, in case of convex lens, we are seeing this is the principal axis, center of curvature, pole. Pole means the center of reflecting surface. Now they appear to intersect at this particular principal focus. So in these both cases, the distance, now this distance between principal focus and pole, we call it as focal length, denoted by small letter f. The distance between pole and principal focus, we call it as focal length, and such focal length is denoted by PF. Okay, here also PF. And the relation between focal length and radius of curvature is, so focal length is equal to 1 by 2 into radius of curvature, that is f equal to r by 2, or r equal to 2f, or r equal to 2f. Now next, now let us move towards ray diagrams. Okay, let us move towards ray diagrams. Now first, let us discuss the rules of ray diagrams in case of concave mirror and then in case of convex mirror. So first, rule 1. So now this is the concave mirror, this is the reflecting surface, and this is the non-reflecting surface. Now this is the principal axis. Right, here I placed the object candle, okay, now through which the light rays are coming. So now this is the center of curvature, pole and principal focus. Now this is the normal drawn to the concave mirror from center of curvature. Now the rays parallel to the axis get reflected such that they pass through the focal point of mirror. The rule 1 is, these are the rays incident parallel, these are the rays coming parallel to the principal axis. Now these rays are incident on this concave mirror, then they reflect back, and that reflected rays pass through this focal point. The reflected ray pass through this focal point of the mirror. This is rule 1. Okay. Now next, if we go for rule 2, now as usual, here there is the candle. Now the rays are passing in such a way that they are directed towards the focal point. Here the rays are directed towards the focal point, and when they incident on this concave mirror, they travel parallel to the principal axis. Now see here, all the rays are directed towards the focal point, and passing through the focal point, when they incident on the mirror, after reflection they travel parallel to the axis. After reflection they travel parallel to the axis. This is rule 2. And rule 3. Now in case of rule 3, here the rays coming from the light source are directly focused towards the center of curvature. So this is center of curvature. So after reflection, again they follow the same path. So they are focusing towards the center of curvature and comes and incident on the concave mirror. Then they reflect back along the same line. After reflection, they go along the same line. This is rule 3. And the rule 4. Here the rays are incident directly at the pole. They are incident directly at the pole. If I is the angle of incidence, then after reflection also it reflect back with the same angle as it made before. Okay, so a ray of light which is incident at the pole of concave mirror is reflected back by making same angle with the principal axis, that is I equal to R. This is R is the angle of reflection. So I will be equal to R when rays are incident directly at the pole of concave mirror. Similarly, let us discuss the rules of convex mirror. Right? So the rule 1. The ray, now this is the convex mirror. Now this is the reflecting surface. This is the non-reflecting surface. Pole, principal focus, center of curvature. Right, and this is the normal drawn from center of curvature. Now a ray parallel to axis. Now this is the ray. Now this is the principal axis. Now this is the ray coming parallel to this axis. When incident on a convex mirror, it will reflect. And that reflected light appears to come from the focal point. Actually from here it is reflecting, but it appears to come from the focal point. This is rule 1. Now let us move for rule 2. Now here the ray is coming in a direction of a focal point in such a way. This is the incident ray. It is coming in direction of focal point. The dotted lines you see, it is coming in the direction of focal point. Now after reflection, it passes parallel to the principal axis. Now this is the principal axis. It passes parallel to the principal axis. Means it is the converse of rule 1. Right? Now next one. Rule 3. Here the rays, how they are coming? They are coming as if they are traveling in direction of center of curvature. So after reflection, they appears to be coming from the center of curvature, means along the same line. A ray traveling in direction of center of curvature. On reflection, they travel opposite to the direction and appears to be coming from center of curvature. So these are the rules for convex mirror. Now next, let us discuss about the characteristics of this image. Okay. So let us discuss about the characteristics. So here 6 points we are discussing. So for reflection of light at curved surfaces. So first, how the image is formed when the candle is placed between mirror and focal or principal focus. Okay. So see here. Here, this particular object is placed between, or we can also say pole or mirror and principal focus, where we kept the object between pole and principal focus. Now these are the rays, incident here, incident on mirror. Now next, they reflect back in such a way. These are the reflected rays. Okay. Now we see that these rays appear to reflect from this position I. Means here image is formed behind mirror. When an object is placed between pole and principal focus, image is formed behind the mirror. And see the image, it is enlarged compared to this point. It is erect, and this image is virtual image. So it is enlarged, erect and virtual image. Now next, let us go for the second point. Now second point is, here we are talking when the candle or object is placed at a focus. So what is happening? Where the image is forming, where the image is forming. So now let us see. Now here what we did, we placed the object. This arrow mark is the object. We placed the object at a focus point, principal focus. And now this is the principal axis. Now these are the rays. They are incident on the mirror. Okay, concave mirror. Now they are reflected back, right, in such a way, and their image forms at infinity. The image forms at infinity. Alright. So when the object is placed on principal focus, image is formed at infinity. Now next, let us see what happens when object is, this is the object, is placed between principal focus and center of curvature. Now I kept the object between principal focus and center of curvature. Now these are the incident rays. Now this reflected in such a way, and these ray after incident on concave mirror reflected in such a way. Now here we got the image of this object. Now this is the object and this is the image. How the image? It is enlarged, means of greater size than that of the object. And where it formed, this is C, no, beyond C it formed. So where the image formed? Beyond C. Okay, and it is inverted, and here we will get, it is inverted, and here we will get real image, right? We will get a real image. Now next, let us see what happens when the object is placed on center of curvature. This is center of curvature. I kept the object on center of curvature. Now these are the incident ray. After reflection it is passing in such a way. Now this is also incident ray. After reflection it is passing in such a way. Now see, this is the image formed. This is the object, this is the image. How is the image? Image, it forms, it is inverted, real, and of same size as that of the object, and image also forms at C only. Where the image is formed? When object is placed at O, at C, then image is also formed at a center of curvature itself. Now next, let us go for the next case. So here, where we kept the object is placed beyond C. Okay, so this is the object. Beyond C we kept the object, and where the image is formed between F and C, this is the image. So this is the incident ray, reflected ray, incident ray, reflected ray, and the image is formed between F and C. So this image will be diminished, means smaller in size compared to the object, and it is inverted, real, diminished image is formed. right? Now next, last one. Here object is placed at some infinity. These are the rays coming from the object which are placed at infinity. After reflection, what is happening? You see, they all are meeting at one particular point. After reflection from the concave mirror, they all are concentrating at one particular point, that we call it as principal focus. And here the image is of point size and it is a real image. Okay, now at glance let us see. If the object is placed between mirror and focal principal focus, or mirror pole and principal focus, the image is formed behind the mirror and such image will be enlarged, erect and virtual. When object is placed on focal point, image is formed at infinity, right? When object is placed between principal focus and center of curvature, image is formed beyond C, it is enlarged, inverted and real. Now next, when object is placed at C, image is also formed at C of same size, inverted and real. And when the object is placed beyond C, it is placed between, image is formed between F and C, principal focus and center of curvature, it is diminished, inverted and real. When object is placed at infinity, image is formed at focus, that image will be of point size and a real image is formed. Okay, so this is about the characteristics of your image in case of concave mirrors. Now similarly in case of convex mirror, so only two cases here we will discuss. One is when the object is at infinity. So these are the rays coming from the object which is at infinity, right? Now these are the rays, this pink color, right? Now these are diverged. After reflection, these rays are diverged in such a way, and this diverged ray appears to come from this point. Okay, so image formed, so we can say that here image is formed inside the mirror. Image is formed inside the mirror, and such image is a virtual image and a diminished image. Now next, if from the rule 1 and rule 3 of convex mirrors for ray diagrams, now here this is the object. Okay, the rays are coming and incident on the convex mirror. These are diverged in such a way, and these diverged rays appears to come from this particular point. Means here we will get erect. This is the erect image, diminished and virtual image. Means it is formed back side of the mirror. This is the mirror and formed back side of the mirror, and this image cannot be caught on the screen but visible in the mirror. So this is about the ray diagrams related to the convex and concave mirrors in case of a reflection. Now let us move for refraction of light at curved surfaces. For refraction of light at curved surfaces. Now first see what happens. Refraction means what? When a light ray travels from rarer to the denser medium, it bends towards the normal or away from the normal. That we call it as refraction, either towards the normal or away from the normal. That we call it as refraction of light. And now next, let us discuss about refraction in our next coming video, the light properties. Okay, so now here let us discuss now what happens to the ray while traveling parallel to the principal axis. Now here this is the denser medium, shaded part. This is the rarer medium. Case 1. Now this is the principal axis. Now the rays are coming parallel to the principal axis. So when rays are coming parallel to the principal axis, When it strikes the, this is the convex surface, we will say. This is convex surface. When strikes the convex surface, passes from rarer to the denser medium. A ray travelling parallel to the principal axis strikes the convex surface and passes from rarer to the denser medium. Now case 2. A ray, principal axis, convex surface, denser medium, rarer medium. Here, when a ray travelling parallel to the convex surface, parallel to the principal axis and strikes on the convex surface, it passes from denser to the rarer medium. It passes from denser to the rarer medium. Now next, case 3. A ray travelling parallel to the principal axis, when it strikes, now this is the concave surface, no? This side, see here, this is convex side, we will say. This we call it as concave side, right? Now when the ray travelling parallel to the principal axis strikes on the concave side, it travels from denser to the rarer medium, and this is the normal rod. Similarly, a ray travelling parallel to the principal axis and strikes the concave surface and passes from rarer to the denser medium. Okay, so in such a way it passes from rarer to the denser medium. It changes its direction. In every position you see, it is changing its direction. It is changing its direction, right? So that changing in direction itself, we call it as a refraction. So here in this case you see, the light ray, when it is travelling from rarer to the denser medium, when strikes on convex surface, it bends towards the normal rod. In this case you see, when it is travelling from denser to the rarer medium and strikes on convex surface, it bends away from the normal. It bended away from the normal. Here the light ray, after refraction, what is happening? Bends towards normal. Towards normal. Here bends away from normal. Now in the case of when the light is incident on a concave surface, these two are the cases of concave surface. When light is incident on concave surface, when it is travelling from denser to the rarer medium, you see here the ray bends away from normal. Here the ray, when it is travelling from rarer to the denser medium and incident on concave surface, the ray bends towards normal. This is happening in these 4 cases. So this, the ray, when it travels from rarer to the denser medium, it bends away from the normal or towards the normal. So that property of the light, we call it as refraction. Now here let us discuss the ray diagrams related to the refraction. Here also we are having certain rules. First let us discuss about that rules and then let us go for the ray diagram. The first one, this is in case of concave lens, and this is for convex lens. This is for the case of concave lens. Sorry, this is convex and this is concave. Okay. Now see, ray is passing through the optic center. In both cases I drawed. Okay. Optic center. Now F1, F2, C1, C2 principal focuses. Okay. And C1, C2, this we cannot call it as center of curvature. This is the point away from the optic centers. Okay. So now the ray passing through the optic center. How it is passing? Now any ray passing through optic center, you see it is undeviated. We didn't find any refraction here. When it passes through optic center, it will not refract. Similarly, here the ray is passing along principal axis. Here I draw the rays along the principal axis. Here also see the ray is undeviated, means here also it is not changing its direction. Now here you see the rays passing parallel to the principal axis. So these are the rays passing parallel to the principal axis. What is happening? Either it diverges, it appears to diverge from a point or intersect at a point on principal axis in case of convex and concave lens. Now ray passing through the focus point. Now here this is the arrows. These are passing from the focus point. So now here after refraction they travel parallel to the principal axis. So ray passing through the focus will take path parallel to the principal axis after refraction. So in first case, when they pass through optic center, they remain undeviated. When they pass along the principal axis also, they remain undeviated. When they pass parallel to the principal axis, they appear to diverge or converge at one particular point called principal focus. And when they pass from the focus point itself only, after refraction they travel parallel to the principal axis. Now let us go for the ray diagram. Here also we are discussing about the 6 different points, that is characteristics of image formed due to convex lens. So the first point, here the object is placed at infinity. So object is at infinity. The rays are coming parallel to the principal axis. Here we are drawing in case of convex lens. Now all the rays meet at a focal point F1. Okay, they meet at a focal point F1 and forms point image. Now the second point, if the object is placed beyond C2, here the object is placed beyond C2. Now the rays are striking this convex lens. Okay, after refraction they meet here, means here the image is formed. How is the image? Inverted, and it will be diminished, smaller in size compared to the object's size, and it is real, inverted, diminished and real. And where it formed? Between F1 and C1. The image is formed between F1 and C1. Right? Now next, case 3. Now here the object is placed at C2. Object is placed at C2. Now where the image is formed? Image is formed on C1. Image is formed on C1. These are the incident rays and these are the refracted rays. Now here the image is inverted and it will be of same size as that of the object and is real. Right? Now the next case, here the object is placed between C2 and F2. Alright. Now incident rays, these are the refracted rays, and where the image is formed? Beyond C1. Image is formed beyond C1. Okay, and the image is inverted, magnified and real. Inverted, magnified means larger size than compared to the object, and real. The next point, when the object is placed at F2. When object is placed at F2, the image is formed at infinity, right? And when the object it is placed between F2 and P, here is the object F2 and P, right? Now this is the image formed. It is erect, magnified means larger compared to the object, and virtual. Okay, so at glance, when object is placed at infinity, position of image is on focal point and image is of point size. When object is placed beyond F2, the image is formed between F1 and C1, and it is inverted, diminished and real image. When it is placed at C2, image is formed on C1, it is inverted, same size, and real image is formed. Similarly, when the object is between F2 and C2, the image forms beyond C1, it is inverted, magnified and real. When object is at F2, image forms at infinity. And lastly, when object is between F2 and pole, image forms beyond F2, erect, magnified and virtual. Now next, the mirror formula. 1 by F equal to 1 by U plus 1 by V. F is the focal length of the lens, U is the object distance and V is the image distance. Magnification, size of image by size of object or minus of object distance by image distance. And sign convention, how we will take? All the distances will be measured from the poles. Distances measured in direction of incident ray are taken as positive, opposite to the incident ray are taken as negative. And height of the object and height of the image are positive in upwards, and if we take in downward direction from principal axis, it will be taken as negative. Now the uses of concave mirror. It is used in shaving mirror because this shows an enlarged erect image of the face. It is used in head mirrors of headlights, torch lights, because they act as reflectors. This is used in astronomical telescopes, in solar furnaces, because in solar furnaces we need to collect large number of solar energy. So concave mirrors can collect large number of solar energy. Now the uses of convex mirror in buildings, here to allow the people to look around the corner and avoid colliding with one another. At the corner they can understand who is coming, and in such a way the colliding of people will be avoided. In vehicles, as rear view mirrors. In street lights, it can disperse the light beam across the border area, solely we use in street lights. And in sunglasses, because it reflects the sunlight away from the wearer. Now telescopes, point sized views of far away objects can be seen. So these are all the fundamentals, basics related to these mirrors and lenses. If you like this video, like my video, share my video. Thank you.